Dhania, founder of KrisNEX podcast, back again here with a very interesting topic for today's podcast. More than interesting, it is really needed. Every student needs to learn about that. The topic for today is India, the land of education. So according to the year in which you are born, India is divided into three kind of generations after independence. See, so Generation X, as I can see on Google, people born between 1965 to 1979 are Generation X. Born between 1980 to 95 are Generation Y. Sorry, 95 are Generation Y, and born between 1996 to 2010 are Generation Z. We all, the youth, the students, we all lie in Generation Z. Our parents might lie in Generation Y or X, or if you have a brother or sister who is studying in college, or we can say is doing a job or something, they're in Generation Y. The difference is, if I talk about the innovations, the mobile phone 150 years before was this, and now it's this. We talk about cars 150 years before, car was this, now it's this. If we talk about any innovation, the buildings were this, now this. If we talk about education, we are really disappointed to see that education 150 years before us was this, and now it's this. It's not at all changed. Education is not changed from generation X, generation Y, and generation Z. We are studying the same things, and that's the reason most people are becoming unsuccessful in life. There's a quote that if you want to achieve what your family hasn't achieved, then you have to do something which your family hasn't even thought before of doing. There are some things that I would like to share to you today. That's why the first episode of today was, India, the land of education, because I wanted to tell you, India is growing in everything, in science industry, in medical industry, in architecture industry, in everything is growing. But one thing in which India is not growing is the youth. We are getting access to everything from Netflix to Amazon Prime Video. We're learning everything from YouTube and everything. But please, you have to believe on the fact that the methods of becoming successful now are not the same as of our parents. So no disrespect to our parents. I know that they really care about us and they really want us to succeed in life. But if you want to be successful now in 2020 or in 2020s, in these 10 years, you cannot depend on those methods our parents become successful or parents have seen people becoming successful. We have to learn something new. We have to search for new ways. Don't trust me. Ask your grandparents or anybody who is above 60. Just ask them what was the mentality of India during 1970s. People used to believe that the only way to become rich is that you are a family of means. You're a family of financially strong background. This is the only way to become rich. If we talk about our parents' generation during the 1980s or 1990s, people started believing that you can become rich if you have a good, strong education. If you are graduated from IITs, from IIMs, or any foreign big universities, Stanford, Caltech, Columbia, and everything. But believe me, those were old days. Those are gone. Now, it's a new era. It's a totally new era. Decentralization of internet has happened. Liberalization has happened. The economy is changing. Economy is booming. If you talk about all the billionaires which are there in the world, everyone out there started with the internet business, software business. And see, it's not their fault, okay? Because our parents, our grandparents, and everybody who are there in that age, they did not have any awareness about that because internet was not there. They were not connected to the world. But we are. We know those people who got successful at the age of 14, at the age of 13, at the age of 16. They don't have any college degree. They don't even go to school. I'm not saying to drop out of school. I'm just saying start doing something extra. Don't think that you're 98% in board exams or you're some all India rank under 1000 in J exams will give you success. No, the times have changed. This India is a new India. In the new India, which I am seeing in next 5 years or next 10 years, that will be India of money, India of richness, India of character, India of confidence. यानी एक ऐसा देश बनेगा इंडिया जिसको कोई कैच नहीं कर पाएगा. वो उस हाइट्स पे जाएगा जिसको कोई देश पकड़ नहीं पाएगा. कोई देश सपना नहीं देख पाएगा कि मैं उस हाइट तक कैसे पहुंचूंगा. This will be India in the next 10 years. If India will not become that way, I'll make India that way. That's my promise. I'm here to tell you just one thing. Stop cramming the books. हम लोग यार 9th-10th में तो हमको पढ़ाई जाती है SST, साइंस, मैथ्स. सच बताओ लाइफ में क्या काम आएगा उसका? There are two types of people in the world. One who cram the history, one who create the history. कुछ लोग इतिहास रटने में पूरा जीवन बिता देते हैं, कुछ लोग इतिहास रचने में पूरा जीवन बिता देते हैं. What kind of person are you? If you are a person who wants to crack history, if you are a person who you want public to remember you, if you are a kind of person who want memes, if you are a person who wants something in life, if you are a person who wants to do something for the nature, for the country, if you are that kind of person who want to reach at those heights which nobody can even think of reaching, separate yourself from the rest of the crowd. That's all. Separate yourself from the rest of the crowd. Just do yourself one favor. Start thinking differently. Don't think the way society wants you to think. Don't think the way society already thinks. Think the way you want to think. यार हमको पता है जब से बचपन से हम पैदा हुए हैं हमको ऐसा लगता है कि जो सोसाइटी कहती है वो सही होगा क्योंकि यार सारे लोग तो बेवकूफ नहीं हो सकते. बता रहे हैं कि बेटा ढंग से पढ़ लो, सारे काम छोड़ दो, क्या करोगे यूट्यूब पे जाके, क्या करोगे इंस्टाग्राम पे जाके, सोशल मीडिया तुम्हें बर्बाद कर देगा. एंड यू थिंक यार वो कह रहे हैं सोशल मीडिया गलत है, तो हो सकता है गलत होगी. करोड़ों लोग थोड़ी मतलब करोड़ों लोग थोड़ी गधे होंगे यार, एक गधा होगा दो गधा होगा, करोड़ों लोग तो नहीं हो सकते. लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग, करोड़ों लोग गधे हैं. एंड दैट इज द ट्रूथ. एंड दैट्स द रीजन when they don't become successful, they stop you from becoming one. In Indian education system, there is no place for failures, and if a system has no place for failures, that cannot be called an education system. In short, Indian education system is made for workers. They're not made for leaders. Some intelligent people might argue कि हाँ बकवास बोल रहे. Let me give you a direct proof, or in short, let me give you the history of Indian education system. So back in the days when British were ruling us, British economy was booming, okay, because of the industrialization and everything. So वहाँ पे यार when British economy was booming, they wanted more people to be trained as laborers. Okay, उनके पास बहुत सारे heads थे, उनके पास बहुत सारे officials थे, but laborers कम थे, right? उनको आपको पता होगा, तभी machines की जरूरत पड़ी. So बहुत employees कम थे यार, वो चाहते थे कि जो लोग पैदा हो रहे हैं वो बड़े हो employees बनने के लिए, वो बड़े हो laborers बनने के लिए, वो बड़े हो factory workers बनने के लिए, ना कि boss बनने के लिए. तो उन्होंने क्या करा, ब्रिटिश ने एक system introduced kara. They called it the education system of British. Okay, so now that system was based on rote learning or Rattamar education. Okay, and that system was exported to every colonies, especially India. Now that education system came to India, and that system was named as Education System of India, in which rote learning was based. The system was based on rote learning and Rattamar education. So why British did this? Because they didn't want people to become leaders. Because they were Indians, right? They wanted Indians to be always below the British, right? They wanted British to be the CEO and Indians to be assistant. They wanted British to be the scientist and Indians to be the lab assistant. They wanted British to be the doctors and Indians to be the nurses. They wanted always Indians to be below them. Okay, so they introduced a system in India called rote learning or Rattamar education. The only problem was when the British left, the government since then till now never cared to change the education system. Still now we are learning the rote learning or Rattamar education the British introduced for us to become the workers or laborers. Now the interesting thing is when the British left and they went to the countries, the British Rattamar situation which was developed in British was changed, and now they're in practically a practical approach. If we talk about electric circuits, right, in India what happened is we have 4 electric circuits and we have to remember that, and we have to just spit it out in the examinations. In British or in American countries what happens is they give you 5 or they give you 10 electric circuits and you have to make an 11th one, or you have to make a 12th one in exams. That's for education, not the one we are taught. एजुकेशन यार वो नहीं होता है कि जो गूगल में इंफॉर्मेशन है वो हमारे दिमाग में है कि कौन सा वॉर कब हुआ था, उसमें कौन सा राजा कब मरा था. जो एजुकेशन गूगल में है वो हम सीख के क्या कर लेंगे. एजुकेशन इज नॉट टू लर्न ऑल दोस थिंग्स व्हिच आर अवेलेबल ऑन गूगल एंड यूट्यूब. एजुकेशन इज लर्निंग दोस थिंग्स व्हिच विल हेल्प अस टू सॉल्व दोस प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच गूगल कैन नॉट सॉल्व, व्हिच यूट्यूब कैन नॉट सॉल्व. जो आंसर्स गूगल नहीं दे सकता वो आप दोगे. दैट्स फॉर एजुकेशन. दैट इज द रियल पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन, टू लर्न, राइट. यार एजुकेशन इज नॉट to read about all the solar energy and wind energy and thermal energy and learn about it. Education is about finding a new kind of energy which is more efficient than all of them. That's education. Marks does not mean education. The art of handling difficulties is education. The purpose of doing something, of solving something which is wrong and make it correct, that's the purpose of education. Not to crack a job in Microsoft or Google. not be the general manager of Apple. मुश्किलों को कह दो थोड़ी और कठिन हो जाए, चुनौतियों को कह दो थोड़ी और मुश्किल हो जाए। मुश्किलों को कह दो थोड़ी और कठिन हो जाए, चुनौतियों को कह दो थोड़ी और मुश्किल हो जाए। देखना चाहते हो मेरी उड़ान, तो आसमान को कह दो थोड़ा और ऊंचा हो जाए। Thank you, everybody. It was great talking to you. Just please comment and just let me see what you want to be the title of the next episode too. And till then, see you. Have a good day.